PLEIADIAN timeline alchemy, rewriting the past, programming the present, and calling the future. Apertura Quantica. Your mind is the laboratory where reality learns to take shape. Your breath is the metronome of destiny. Your attention is the chisel that sculpts tomorrow from the living marble of now. 1. Deep gaze, the river, the archivist, and the phoenix. Imagine a river that remembers every stone it has touched and every curve it has learned. That river is your nervous system flowing through time. On its banks lives an archivist of light who guards the recordings of your life. The archivist is not your critic, it is your librarian. Some shelves hold luminous victories, others carry scenes heavy with unspoken words, interrupted movements, and paused tears. In the center, a nest of embers keeps glowing, awaiting the phoenix of your sovereign will to rise. This journey unfolds through archetypes that speak to the soul. The hero walks toward meaning. The inner child seeks safety and play. The sage witnesses without judgment. The healer returns the exiled parts to the heart. Together they learn the oldest alchemy, transmuting experience into presence, presence into power, and power into service. Every pattern becomes a teacher, every symptom becomes a messenger, every memory becomes raw material for evolution. Timeline alchemy affirms a simple truth. The past is not a fixed prison, it is a living contract that can be renegotiated through conscious state, coherent emotion, and precise action. The present is not a tiny dot squeezed between yesterday and tomorrow, it is a vast temple with many doors. The future is not a random lottery, it is a frequency you court and eventually embody. You do not fix the past. You liberate the intelligence that was trapped in it. You do not chase the future. You become the kind of vessel that the future recognizes as home. You do not force destiny. You entrain to it. 2. Scientific and psychological foundations, plasticity, presence, and permission. Humanistic psychology teaches that the organism tends toward growth when given empathy, congruence, and unconditional positive regard. Safety is the soil where potential germinates. When you relate to yourself with dignity, your inner ecology reorganizes. Transpersonal psychology reminds that identity extends beyond the personal narrative. States of expanded awareness reveal that you are both wave and ocean, both story and sky. From that altitude, compassion becomes a natural gravity. Neuroplasticity is the nervous system's capacity to rewire connections through repeated, emotionally salient experience. When you recall a memory while feeling safe and empowered, you trigger memory reconsolidation. In that window, old associations can be gently replaced with new ones. This is not repression. This is recontextualization. The past remains factual, but its emotional charge and behavioral consequences soften and reweave. NLP offers precision tools to direct attention, reframe meaning, and somatically anchor new states. Language becomes a steering wheel, imagery becomes a lever, breath becomes code. Practical example. A musician carries a pattern of freezing on stage. The body learned to associate visibility with danger after early experiences of harsh criticism. Through timeline alchemy, they revisit a key scene while rooted in a strong present anchor of safety, warmth, and breath coherence. They witness the younger self, provide resources, and gently reconsolidate meaning. Over weeks of practice, the stage becomes a sanctuary for expression rather than a courtroom. The body learns a different lesson. The future audience receives a different signal. Reality rearranges around the new coherence. 3. Applied biodecoding. When the body speaks in symbols. The body is a polyglot poet. Every organ speaks a dialect of emotion and adaptation. Symptoms often originate as intelligent responses to experiences that exceeded the system's capacity to integrate in the moment. Throat and neck tension can symbolize permission to speak, to say no, to sing your name into the world. Stomach and digestion often mirror the ability to process experiences, to set pace, to claim nourishment. Skin can reflect themes of contact, protection, and belonging. Lower back may whisper about support and the right to be carried sometimes. Respiration often maps to space, freedom, and the rhythm between taking in and letting go. Biodecoding pathway. 1. Name the sensation with kindness. 2. Ask the body for the first age or scene that carries a similar emotional flavor. Let images arise without forcing. 3. Identify the unmet need or stop movement. 4. Offer a corrective experience now. That may look like a boundary stated out loud, a gesture completed, a cry aloud, or a breath pattern restored. 5. Anchor the new state in posture, breath, and imagery. 6. Repeat over days until the body trusts the new pattern more than the old alarm. Illustrative release. If the chest constricts before speaking truth, place a warm hand there. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6-10 cycles. Picture the lungs as luminous wings that open on the exhale. Whisper a permission mantra such as I am safe to voice what is real. Now rehearse a micro scene of speaking one sentence with relaxed shoulders and grounded feet. Anchor that state by gently pressing thumb and index finger together. Later, when needed, evoke the anchor and the lungs remember. Namonar 4. Quantum NLP Toolkit. Step-by-step protocols. This toolbox blends clarity of instruction with the poetry of state. Practice slowly. Precision beats force. 4.1. The Golden Thread Reframe. Purpose. Extract the core need or value hidden inside a painful scene and reassign it a life-affirming pathway. Steps. 1. Choose a scene that still tugs the heart yet feels workable. 2. Establish a safety base. Find 3 sensory anchors in the room and breathe until the body softens. 3. Watch the scene as if on a distant screen. Keep your present self grounded behind a clear pane of light. 4. Name the golden thread inside the scene. Examples include safety, being seen, fairness, autonomy, play, belonging. 5. Speak to the younger self with warmth. I hear you. I believe you. I honor what you needed. 6. Install a new pathway for that need in present time. Design a simple behavior you can do this week that honors the value. 7. Compress the new meaning into a short affirmation and a body gesture. Example. Affirmation, I honor my voice with ease. Example gesture. Right hand on throat with a soft exhale. 8. Rewatch the scene briefly while pulsing the new anchor. Do not edit history. Edit the relationship you carry with it. 4.2. Future Bridge Mapping. Purpose. Entrain your present nervous system to the frequency of the desired future through sensory-rich rehearsal. Steps. 1. Define a concrete future scene. Keep it specific and embodied. 2. Stand or sit upright. Inhale, lift the sternum slightly. Exhale, relax the jaw. 3. Imagine a bridge from you now to you there, built from breath and intention. 4. Walk across with your attention. Notice posture, tone of voice, micro-expressions of future you. 5. Ask future you for 1 sentence of counsel and 1 micro-habit to practice for 7 days. 6. Step back into now carrying the counsel and the habit. 7. Anchor by pressing feet into the floor and saying, thank you, I can carry this. 8. Repeat daily for 9 days. 4.3. The Swish of Sovereignty. Purpose. Shift from an old trigger image to a new, empowered self-image. Steps. 1. Identify the first frame that appears when the trigger occurs. 2. Craft a contrasting empowered frame of you acting with ease and integrity. 3. Visualize the trigger image large and bright. 4. Insert the empowered image small in a corner. 5. Swish. Rapidly shrink the trigger image to a dot while expanding the empowered image until it fills the inner screen with sound and sensation. 6. Repeat 6 to 10 times. 7. Test gently. If the trigger returns, repeat over 3 days. 8. Link the new image to a body cue like rolling the shoulders open. 4.4. Somatic Script Editing. Purpose. Rewrite posture and breath patterns that once encoded hypervigilance. Steps. 1. Scan for micro-patterns like raised shoulders, shallow breathing, toes gripping. 2. Choose 1 pattern and contrast it with its antidote. 3. Practice the antidote for 2 minutes, 3 times a day. 4. Speak a present tense statement that fits the antidote. Example, my spine is a staff of light. 5. Celebrate small wins immediately to teach the brain that safety and pleasure can coexist. 4.5. The boundary bell. Purpose. Install a clean, kind no as a reflex rooted in love rather than fear. Steps. 1. Stand with feet hip-width apart. 2. Imagine a bell of light around you expanding 30 centimeters from the skin. 3. Inhale and feel the bell hum. Exhale and say no inside the chest as an act of self-respect. 4. Rehearse 3 micro-scenes of boundary in daily life, like declining an extra task, pausing a chat, or negotiating time. 5. Finish with a yes to something nourishing to prove that boundaries protect desire. 5. Spiritual perspective and Christic consciousness, the art of loving without losing your center. Christic consciousness is the frequency of lucid compassion. It embraces without enabling, forgives without erasing accountability, and loves without abandoning truth. In this field, you remember that separation is a lens, not the ground of reality. Unity is the fabric, diversity is the embroidery. From the Buddhist wisdom of emptiness arrives a liberating insight. Forms appear and dissolve within awareness like waves within the ocean. Clinging freezes the wave into brittle ice. Presence melts it back into flow. Psychomagic adds a playful bridge between the symbolic and the material by staging rituals that speak the language of the unconscious. A white thread tied around the wrist can remind the body of a vow to speak gently. Cold water on the face after a boundary conversation can seal the new imprint with clarity. From this synthesis, service emerges. You heal not to become special, but to become transparent, so love can pass through you with less distortion. You set boundaries not to isolate, but to steward the temple of your purpose. You build capacity not to dominate, but to carry more light without leakage. Nardenko 6. Integrative ritual. The 3 altars and the 9-day spiral. Create 3 simple altars that represent past, present, and future. They can be symbolic corners or small trays. Altar 1. Past. Place a small stone for weight and wisdom. Add a drop of salt water for tears that were not permitted. Write 1 sentence that describes a lesson you now honor. Mantra. I recover the gift hidden inside my history. Altar 2. Present. Place a candle for consciousness. Add a small piece of fruit or tea for nourishment. Write a sentence that describes your non-negotiable value for this season. Mantra. I walk in clarity, breath by breath. Altar 3. Future. Place a feather or leaf for lightness and movement. Add a blank card where you will write a micro-habit delivered by future you. Mantra, I become the future that fits my soul. The 9-day spiral. Days 1 to 3. Golden thread. Reframe each day with a different scene. Close by touching the past altar and reading your lesson aloud. Days 4 to 6. Boundary bell practice daily. Light the present candle and speak your value. Journal 1 paragraph about how your body responded. Days 7 to 9. Future bridge mapping each day. After receiving the counsel, write the micro-habit on the future card. Carry it in your pocket as a living contract. Ritual closing. Stand between the 3 altars. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 2. Exhale through the mouth for 6, 9 cycles. Visualize a triangle of light connecting past, present, future with you at the center as an embodied crossroads. Whisper, I bless the road behind me. I bless the breath within me. I bless the horizon before me. Then take 1 deliberate step forward. Field notes, micro examples, and lived applications. Creative block. Use the swish of sovereignty to replace the first image of blankness with an image of you in flow. Pair it with a 2-minute somatic script of open shoulders and steady exhale. A conflict repair. Before dialogue, perform 3 boundary bell breaths. Enter the conversation committed to clarity over victory. Name needs rather than accusations. Offer 1 practical request. Money anxiety. Biodecode the symptom. Sense where scarcity flares in the body. Often, the belly tightens. Place a warm palm there and repeat, I choose. Pace over panic while mapping a 1-line budget action for today. Social visibility. Revisit the earliest time you felt unsafe being seen. Golden thread, the need for protection and belonging. Install a present-time crew of allies with a simple practice like a pre-posting breath ritual and a post-sharing celebration. PLEIADIAN, the 4 agreements of timeline alchemy. 1. Radical gentleness. Transformation that abandons tenderness drifts into performance. 2. Micro moves. Consistency at small scale beats intensity that burns out. 3. Embodied truth. Words become real when the spine participates. 4. Service orientation power matures when it becomes sanctuary for others. Dastur. FAQ-free clarities as principles. The past informs, the present transforms, the future conforms. Regulation precedes revelation. Safety is the speed limit of healing. Boundaries are bridges that know where they land. Celebration instructs the nervous system to expect more good. Damos 1-page practice map. Morning. 3 boundary bell breaths, 1 page of free writing, 1 clear intention sentence. Midday. 2 minutes of somatic script, editing for posture. Afternoon. 1 micro action that honors your golden thread value. Evening. Future bridge check-in, gratitude for 1 micro win, lights out with a 10-breath descent. Nasir high-frequency reminders. What you rehearse, you become. What you anchor, you keep. What you bless, you amplify. What you permit consistently, you teach. What you embody, you broadcast. Your masterline sovereignty is the art of loving fully without abandoning your center. Quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Choose 1 scene that still echoes in your body. Apply the golden thread reframe end to end. Install a micro habit that honors the value you uncovered. Celebrate immediately for at least 30 seconds with a deep exhale and a small gesture of triumph. Activation code. Whisper slowly 3 times while exhaling long. I woke as a coherent timeline. Then seal it with a gentle tap on the sternum and a smile that you can feel in your eyes. Da. Closing benediction. May your breath be the bridge, your voice the compass, your boundaries the golden rails, your body the temple, and your love the weather that turns deserts into gardens. May the archivist within you update the shelves with grace. May the phoenix keep rising every time you remember who you are. Con amor, Andrew.